so embarrassing. Okay, here we go. It's Sunday morning. I don't think I can do it.
Am I going to have to do it?
Maybe.
Sunday morning. I get up and I close the door. We all know what that means. Kids are downstairs, or kid at the time is downstairs watching TV. And it's adult time. And I get into bed. I'm revving the engine.
Oh my God, stop.
Humming on all cylinders, going full speed.
I'm so uncomfortable.
And all of a sudden we hear a voice at the door. Mommy, are you okay? And not only do we hear the voice, we realize that the door is open and the voice is inside the room.
Oh, God. Our daughter going, Mommy, I thought something was wrong with you. Oh, my God.
Mommy, why are you crying? That's what she said. Mommy, why are you crying?
And all I could think was, oh, my God, do I sound like I'm crying?
And I was like, yeah, you do.
What? That's so messed up. You were so messed up. I can't handle it. I can't handle this episode. We have to end this. So I immediately lay down. I'm already sort of under the covers, so it's okay. But I'm laying on top of you. And she says, what are you doing?
And I say, Mommy and Daddy are just snuggling.
And she goes, I'm going to snuggle, and proceeds to climb into bed with us.
To which you responded,
Baby, can you please run to the kitchen and get Mommy a cereal bar?
And she leaves the room, and we quickly jump out of bed, spring to action, throw clothes on as quickly as possible, and pretend that none of that ever happened.
Oh, God.
Kids are such a cock block.
Oh. If only parenting were as smooth as bourbon. I'm Lene.
And I'm Jordan.
And this is Bourbon and Babies podcast.
Straight up parenting on the rocks.
Welcome back to episode 8 of Bourbon and Babies.
Bourbon and Babies, episode 8. Our topic today is Mom and Dad were just wrestling.
Naked.
Yeah. The one I know you all have been waiting for. But before we get to that, of course, as always, we need to start with our bourbon. And today we have a special bourbon drink.
This is my new favorite drink, by the way.
We are drinking today a chocolate old-fashioned, which is made with Ballotin's chocolate whiskey, which, bear with us, those of you who are not sweet tooths, I was skeptical.
It is not sweet. It is not sweet. In fact, we have had a lot of cocktails on the show that have been pretty sweet.
Yes.
This is not one of them.
No.
It has just this like nice little hint of chocolate. It is whiskey though. Like it still tastes like bourbon. It is good.
There's none of that artificial flavor,
No.
like, oh, it's trying to taste like chocolate. In fact, when we first tasted it, the first response was, I'm not sure if I taste the chocolate, but I'm like, no, I definitely could taste there's a little richness to it.
That's it. That's exactly it. It's like this richness. It's
But
beautiful.
it's not an overbearing, like, oh, that's the chocolate flavor. And, okay, so let me tell you what the cocktail is. So we have the Ballotins. You need to first muddle a orange slice and cherry, the bottom of the glass. Add a few splashes of bitters. Then you add the Ballotins ounce and a half. Then you add the ounce of Kentucky bourbon. Stir that all up. Add some ice cubes and drink.
It is so smooth and so delicious. I'm not kidding. I am going to have to walk away from my ginger beer for a little while because this is my new go-to.
I'm cool with that because you know I'm an old-fashioned fan.
All right, well, now we have to do this awkward episode. Oh, my God. We don't have guests today because, honestly, I am so beet red just from having to, like, retell that first original moment. And the only person here is Jordan. And so he's the last person I should be embarrassed in front of. But I'm red right now, aren't I?
Yeah, you were very skeptical about doing this whole episode because you're like, should we be able to share this with our audience? You know, knowing the variety of people that listen to this. But I said, you know, if we're going to do this, we have to be a little vulnerable. We need to share some of those moments so that, you know, we're putting it all out there today, folks.
And the reality is we all have this thing in common, right? Like most adults that I know of do that thing.
The sex. They do the sex.
And especially, you know, we all have it in common because that's how we were all created.
Right.
Most of us, that's how we got our kids. So there you go.
That's absolutely correct.
So yeah, we do. We all have sex in common. Most people do it. Some people do it more than others. So the Durex Condom Company did a market research study to find out how often people are having sex. And 53% of Americans say that they're having sex once a week. In China, 78% of their population are having sex once a week.
Overachievers.
Right. And then here is the kicker, and this is the most surprising to me. France, only 25% of their population says they have sex once a week.
I don't know. I mean, I thought that was the city of love. That's where we got engaged.
It's a country, but Paris, yes.
Yes, yeah, okay. See, I teach drama. I'm not a geography teacher. See, I almost actually said a geology teacher. It just goes to show you how much I know outside of my realm of expertise.
Oh, I still love you.
Thank
okay,
you, baby.
So yeah, 25%. I'm just going to venture out and say that I think they do it more. And for those of you wondering whose percentage was the lowest, Japan. Only
Japanese.
15% of people are having sex once a week. Now, I will say, the article says that it could be because of the increase in paper walls, and the population there tends to live with their parents a lot longer.
And lots of work.
And they work really, really long work weeks, yeah.
No, but you know who has lots of sex?
Arts people.
Arts people.
Arts people.
It's our people.
That's right.
They love the sex.
Yeah, so what it said is that people with arts degrees have more sex than other people with advanced degrees. Isn't that interesting?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting, but it's not surprising. I mean, when you look at or think of the stereotype of artists, it's like the free love, putting it out there, walking around naked, doing their thing.
Yeah, that's totally you.
Swinging around. Swinging their thing.
Stop it.
I'm loving this episode already.
Okay, so all of those facts and stats, I love numbers. Those are all fun. But getting back to our story, probably most awkward thing about our little run-in is family snuggle has become like a thing that we do and that we say. We'll be laying in bed in the mornings and crawl in bed and go, oh, family snuggle. And it all started because of this
really awkward encounter that she has no idea what was actually happening in that moment. Which I think will be great when she gets older.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Do you think we'll ever explain to her what it really...
Yes.
Because if we could actually explain this to her at some time, then when she becomes that annoying teenager, I think we just... Family snuggle.
Family snuggle. So that totally reminds me of a couple friends of ours. One of them had a big knot in their back, and so that evening they're all sitting around watching TV, and he is massaging her shoulder. And she's going, ooh, oh, it hurts. Oh, man, big knot, right? Getting that knot out of there. Well, that night, they go to bed. The kids go to bed. They have their adult time. And the next morning at the breakfast table, one of the kids says, man, you guys sure had a lot of knots. I was hearing all those painful massages for hours last night. So now their code word is painful massages, and their kids are older and they have explained, and so now that's just what they say when they know they need adult time. It's painful massage time.
Painful massage time.
And the kids go, no.
Here are your earplugs. You might want to insert those ASAP.
Oh, you guys are so gross.
But
we're lying to them.
We're lying.
So we said cuddle time. They said painful massage. We're lying to our kids. And those lies can come back and bite us in the ass. Like, for example, when someone says, oh, we were just playing naked statue.
Naked statue?
That's a thing. I've heard people say it. What's going to happen? Those kids, they're going to go to school and ask to play naked statue. What are their teachers going to say? I
don't know, but I predict some phone calls home from the teacher.
No kidding.
What is this naked statue your child keeps asking to play?
You don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
And then, of course, there's always wrestling. Mm-hmm. Like, are they going to go to wrestling matches and wonder why everyone's wearing their clothes?
I don't know. I mean, originally, if you go back to the Greek games, the Olympics, they were originally naked.
Were they?
Yeah, everyone was naked in the Olympics.
Really?
So wrestling was originally naked.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% positive on this one.
All right. I trust you.
See, I'm educating you.
We're going to have to put some links to the Wikipedia pages in the show notes here.
With some naked Greeks?
So that's legit. That's not a lie. What are some of the other things that we've heard people say when their kids catch them in the act?
Say, oh, it was really hot in here.
So we just took off our clothes.
We just took all of our clothes off.
Which, I mean, in some households, nakedness is a total normal thing.
Yeah.
So if your kids walk in and you're naked, as long as you're not actually physically in the act, the act, then it should be fine. You could just be like, yeah, we're just naked. What's the big deal?
Before we had our son with just our daughter, I feel like you would be nude all the time. At least in front of her, it wouldn't matter. I always was totally covered up in front of her because I don't know. I don't want to scare her. But then...
Scare her. I don't know. Does that mean you think a lot of yourself?
No.
Or think a little of yourself? I don't know.
Why is it so small?
Stop it. Oh, God, I'm so uncomfortable.
But I guess I don't want... I don't know. I guess I don't want to expose her to that. But now, with our son, she's in there all the time changing his diaper and sees it. I mean, granted,
she doesn't think about it.
She doesn't think
anything of it.
But in households where there's full nudity all the time and people are walking around naked and mom and dad are nude all the time, yeah, as long as you're not in the act, that's completely acceptable.
Yeah, and then also in some houses, people talk about sex. Like I was telling, about our friends and the painful massages. Now they talk to their kids about sex regularly because their kids are a little bit older, obviously.
Right. It makes me think of that movie, Away We Go. I don't know if you've seen it, but John Krasinski, Maya Rudolph, and there's this character that Maggie Gyllenhaal plays, who's like the total crunchy granola hippy dippy character, and they have the family bed. And their kids sleep in the same bed as her and her husband. They ask, well, what about when you want to get intimate? She goes, oh, you mean we should hide our love from our children? Yeah.
I'm not into that. But some people are, you know what?
But to each their own.
Yeah, like no judgment. I don't want to judge people for, no, there would not be sex in front of the kids. Mm-hmm.
No.
So your reaction really depends on how old the kids are, right? Because sometimes they get it. Like our daughter... We weren't really sure whether she got it, but...
We decided this week we're going to do a new segment called Kidsplanations, where we ask kids a question relevant to that week's topic and see what they think, where their perception is. And, we'll just play it for you right now, the question we asked our daughter. I want to know from you, why do you think mommy and daddy lock their doors sometimes?
So they could have some private time.
Why would we need private time?
So if someone was getting naked, I wouldn't see them get naked. Or if someone was sleeping, I wouldn't wake them up if I was being loud.
All right.
That's a pretty good answer.
Pretty good answer.
I like it. I feel like we did a good job.
Yeah, we're good parents.
Way to go, us. She gets it. I mean...
Well, I don't know if she gets it.
Well, she doesn't get it, but she gets... that adults need alone time.
Yeah, like I was expecting her to be like, oh, you have it locked because you had all the candy in your room and you don't want me to come in and get it. It's just something completely innocent. But yeah, I mean, I know I've heard that when it comes to these kinds of situations of kids walking in on you, if you've at least established the idea of privacy in your home by closing doors and telling the relevance of when a door is closed, you always knock before entering. Mm-hmm. You know, there's an easier transition to explaining them what the intimacy is.
Right. Yeah, I mean, she doesn't get it, but she gets the concept of privacy. Once kids get it, it's kind of game over because once they catch you doing it after they get it, then they're way wigged out, like grossed out. Maybe
by
not,
it.
Yeah, maybe not wigged out, but definitely grossed out. We were reading an article earlier today, and I had to tell Jordan about it. It was this kid who catches his parents. He goes upstairs. He's sitting at the kitchen table waiting for breakfast. Mom comes in and looks at him and goes, oh, hi, can I have a morning kiss? And he goes, no, I know what you were doing up there, and I do not want you to kiss me.
Oh, that's just, you feel so rejected by your children.
So gross. I know where that mouth has been.
Or do they?
Oh, God.
So disgusting. Have you ever caught your parents doing it?
I don't know.
You don't know? Not to your recollection?
So. I think even if I had, I don't think I...
You blocked it out. It was a traumatic experience. It's going to come back up in therapy.
No idea. I don't think so. I really don't think so. Thank God. I think my parents were smart enough to lock the door.
I caught mine once. Yeah. Yeah, I was downstairs with my brothers, and I had to ask them a question, and I ran all the way upstairs. I just remember seeing them under the covers, and I started to talk, and all I hear is my mom giggling, and... Luckily, they were under the covers, but I remember leaving that room as quickly as I possibly could. Memories.
Oh, God.
Like the corner of my mind.
I'm sure they're going to appreciate you sharing that.
It's okay. Hey, we're sharing it all. We're getting it all out there today. This is our therapy session.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are.
All right. So we checked the WebMD because, WebMD knows everything.
Yeah, anytime there's some weird symptoms going on with me,
Right.
WebMD knows what's
WebMD,
up.
we go down the rabbit hole. And WebMD basically says it depends on what age your kids are and how to react. But the bottom line is don't freak out.
Don't
Okay.
freak out. Actually, Antonita, who was on last week.
She's a therapist.
We asked her, what do you do? She said, invite them in.
And I was like, that's not what you mean. That's not what you were trying to say, right?
No, but don't.
She is a little hippie crunchy, but I don't think
she is. Yeah, not that hippie crunchy. But yeah, no, what she meant is don't scare them off. Don't make them think it's a bad thing. Invite them to ask questions. Don't yell at them or be like, get out, go. But be like, hey, I know this is weird, but do you have questions? And how can we help you understand what's going on? But I think there's a lot of relevance. A lot of it, like you said, is in your reaction.
Yeah.
Right? If you're reacting harshly and it correlates with a bad situation. Whereas if you are calm...
You don't want them to associate negative emotions to something
Sex.
that is perfectly natural.
Right.
So you just have to stay calm.
Eugene Levy, it's a perfectly natural, normal thing.
Guys.
If you haven't seen American Pie, we'll put a link on there for that too, because I don't think any of you would not have seen it. But Eugene Levy talking to his son about sex in American Pie is one of the all-time great cinematic moments.
It is.
It's a perfectly normal, natural thing.
It's easy to say don't freak out when you get caught, but it is kind of disconcerting.
It's jarring.
It is totally jarring, and it's probably really hard to get yourself in the right mental space. So I think that one of the reasons why I was okay with us doing this episode is because for our friends out there that have not been caught yet, I wish someone had told me, hey, by the way, this is going to happen to you. So just when it does, just remember to pause.
Yeah, have a contingency plan
Totally.
in place. Talk to your partner. So when this happens...
This is what we're going to say.
And this is how we are going to react.
All right. I wish someone had said that to me. And for those of you that have already been caught, if you did react badly and you totally wigged out and made your kid wig out...
Or cry.
Is it too late to go back and say, hey, do you remember that time that I mentally scarred you?
Do you remember that time when your dad's butt was in your face on top of mom?
Do you remember that time your dad told you that he was just looking for his lost contact in mommy's belly button?
It's like, Mom, why do you keep bringing up these moments? I'm trying to forget that crap.
Actually, what was happening was the art of love.
Yes, the joy of sex. It was happening in that moment. It was a beautiful thing.
And now we would like to talk to you about it. Oh, poor
about
kids.
the birds and the bees and the humming that was happening in that moment.
Talking about the birds and the bees, I am not looking forward to this conversation, and I'm looking for all sorts of guidance from my friends who have already had successful and maybe not so successful experiences with this. There is an awesome book out there called Where Did I Come From? That is supposed to be good for ages 6 and above, which has a lot of really great, it's totally from the 70s.
Yeah.
And it has some great illustrations and pretty just standard, easy to understand
When you say illustrations, what kind of illustrations?
It is not the Kama Sutra. Don't get excited. If there are people out there that have had a really good experience with the birds and the bees talk or a really horrific experience, please share, because listen, we're still young bucks here. We're still trying to figure this out.
Where can they share that, Lene?
They can share that on the Bourbon and Babies Straight Up Parenting on the Rocks Facebook group. We have like over 600 people.
Like 650.
As part of that group right now, and it's growing every day. So come and join us. There's lots of really fun and funny conversations happening there. We're sharing all of our bourbon cocktail recipes there and on the Bourbon and Babies Facebook page, as well as our new website, which is bourbonandbabiespodcast.com.
which is awesome.
Even easier than visiting our shiny new website, you can simply click that subscribe button in your favorite podcast app, whatever it is you're using to listen to this right now.
And give us 5 stars.
Give us a rating and write us a review because we still have that fun contest happening. That's right, we are giving away $10 Amazon gift cards. For every 10 new reviews that we receive, we will do a drawing and give away a $10 Amazon gift card. So write us a review and send us a message on our Facebook page or on Instagram. Let us know your handle that you use to write the review and we will add you into the drawing.
And you could be rolling in the Benjamins.
All 10 of them. Wait.
Actually, I guess in the Washingtons. You could be rolling in the Washingtons.
You could be rolling in the Washingtons.
You and George, all up in that bed, enjoying your business.
That's right, and hopefully you lock the door.
Yeah. Until next week, we'll see you.
All right, don't forget, we love our babies, we love our bourbon, so drink responsibly, and we'll see you next week.